Welcome back, full-time movie fans. Here we are, back at it again. I'm your host, Daniel. You can just call me Jarvis. And this is my co-host slash good buddy, Michael, or as I like to call him, Magic Mike.
There we go.
So, yeah, Magic Mike 2.
Yeah.
So we've done Multiverse of Madness. We've done Everything Everywhere All at Once. Mm-hmm. Those are connected through the multiverse.
Yeah.
Concepts, right?
Canonically.
Yes. And now we're jumping into Shang Chi, which is connected by Michelle Yeoh, who is also in the MCU, which is where Multiverse of Madness happens. Which, who knows, maybe where Everything Everywhere All at Once happens.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? In one of those universes where she's this, she
was a movie star.
Hello.
She was a movie star in that one universe.
That's true. Maybe in that one
connected.
she played. Yes. Okay. See, we've got a theme here.
I see you, Daniel, and Daniel, and Daniel.
Yes. Thank you. I wish I was the third Daniel in the Daniel duo. Would be a Daniel trio, but yeah. Shang-Chi, I think it was mostly well received. I think
It is, yeah. I'm looking at it's a 7.4 out of 10, which is generally a good score.
Yeah, I think, I guess let's just start with first impressions. Because to be honest with you, let's start with yours. I feel like my first impression, we'll get to it. What was your first impression? Like when you watched, like what did you think? How did you feel?
We should definitely start with you.
Oh, okay.
100%.
Okay, we'll start with me. So here's the thing. Like when I watched it for the first time, I actually did. It was like, I was like, ooh, this is nice. This is fresh. It's different. We're kind of getting away from the normal characters that we see. It's very Asian-y, which I was like, I can appreciate since I'm Asian American, And so it was definitely, it felt like a nice break from the normal stuff because it was just very different setting, different culture, just a different type of hero, I guess. It feels like, there's a lot of formulaic stuff still in this movie. It is a Marvel movie at the end of the day. But I will say that, like, I went to go see it for a second time with a bigger group of friends.
You saw it in theaters both times?
Saw it in theaters both times. I think I saw it. I don't know if I saw it alone the first time, but I remember the second time I saw it, I did see it with 3 of my other friends. And I remember us having a conversation in front of the theater, and they were like, well, 2 of them hadn't seen it. And me and my friend Clint, who I mentioned a lot already on this podcast, had both seen it already. And we both had a similar type of, like, we were just like, yeah, it was pretty okay, I think. I was like, it was good. But it wasn't like a hard, like, whoa, this movie was great. And so the other 2 were kind of like, oh, okay, well, let's go watch it. When we came out of the theater, so I was very curious. I said, hey, so what did you think? And it was like, yeah, the other 2 guys were like, yeah, it was pretty good. It was okay. It wasn't the best. But me and Clint, or Clint and I, depending on grammar or whatever.
Yeah. Get on him.
Yeah, I know. Roast me in the comments or whatever. Clint and I, when we reflect on it, we're like, you know what? I think I liked it better the second time. I think the first time I watched it, it was just kind of like, you're trying to absorb everything. It's a lot of your mental, like you're adding new stuff. I think the second time watching it, I was just able to appreciate, since I knew kind of the story already and I knew what was going on, I was able to focus more on the details, the acting, and some of the other visuals and plot storylines and things like that maybe the first time were missed or whatever. I can't exactly tell you why. I just know that the second time after I watched it, I was like, whoa, I actually think I really liked it. I was like, I think that was a pretty great movie. So for me, it went from it was okay, it was good, to wow, I really liked it. And there was a lot of reasons for that, and we'll get into them. A lot of it had to do with just the actors, and especially Tony. I don't know how to say his last name. Leong, Papa Chi.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy is.
Chi Wai Leung.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Dude, that guy, that's one of those actors, like, if you had talked to me 10 years ago, I mean, unless it was obviously bad, like very obviously bad, I probably couldn't tell you the difference between like a good actor and a great actor. Tony Leung, this guy is like peak phenomenal actor, dude. Like he just stole every scene he was in. He was so like he just melted into the story. Like you never for a second thought this guy was an actor in a movie. Like you thought, oh, he's this guy that I'm seeing. And so to me, that was phenomenal. We'll talk more about that later. But so my impression went from it's good, I liked it, to wow, I really like that. I think it's a great movie. So that's how kind of went for me. It was the second go around.
You're passing it off?
Yes.
So I had a lot of fun with it, and then it was incredibly disappointing. Almost that quickly too. They spent a lot of time building up this, I guess, like this regular world that he was breaking into and learning how to fight and receive information about like his family, where he comes from, his past, and how he needs to resolve the things of the past. And then spent like what felt like 20 minutes at the end of the movie showing up at I don't remember the name of it, but the place
Tallow.
the place that no one could reach ever, right? Impossible to reach. Anyways, they get there. They go, wow, hey, look, we never thought you'd get here. We have to teach you to fight. Also, they're here now. Also, there's a big fucking dragon.
Yeah, but the little furry no-face creature helped them get there.
I do like that.
So
plus 10 points for that little creature alone. But the rest of it, my issue is less with the way that it happened and more so the amount of time that was given there, because it felt like they were building up to something, and then they went, oh, by the way, we only have like 30 minutes left for the movie, so we have to do all this. So this is where it all happens now. Instead of being like, hey, there's a whole build up here, and then something else happens, and then they show up to the place, or they show up to the place earlier, have to go back, have to show back up again or something. But the fact that it was like, this is the world that we're playing in, this is the world that everything's happening in, fuck that now, this is it. Did not sit well.
Let me ask you this. What would you have changed, like, to make it more to your liking in that sense? Like how would they have? You're saying like they would have spent more time in Talo, like showing like what it is and the culture. Like
I don't think they should have gone
to Talo at all.
Yeah, I think it takes away the mysticism of it. I don't think that there is a way to have it presented in the movie, and then have them show up to it so late that would have worked out in their favor. It would have either had to like, it would have had to been first act, all of this stuff that happened for like the 3/4 of the movie into one part of the movie, and then the second and third act take place.
So like if they showed, like if there was a flashback or something like that showing Talo, like, and them sealing away the Dweller in Darkness, like beforehand, is kind of like this is something that
could have helped.
Oh, we fought this thing and we finally sealed it and it killed a bunch of people, and then it kind of cuts to, Papa Chi just annihilating people, like where it started the original movie. Like if they had a section showing Talo and like this Dweller in Darkness just like murdering people, and then they finally like get victory. I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes or something like that.
It's not even just that. It's that the stakes did not feel like they were real enough once they got to Talo. This is the world that they live in and this is what they care about, but for some reason they care about this place now.
Yeah.
You know, like even if there is some sort of like emotional connection to it, like this is where their family is, whatever, they've never met these people. They've never met before. Yeah. They hear stories of whatever, but like it'd be like Indiana Jones showing up to the Ark of the Covenant and then going, "Great, we found it," and then the movie ends. You know, there's not enough time to get attached to it all, and it doesn't feel like it felt like they showed up because they had to, not because like it led them there. You know?
Yeah, I feel you. I think I can track with what you're saying. It does kind of seem. I can see how it's a little hand wavy. It's just like, oh, he's hearing these voices, and where are they coming from? Oh, the voice says that she's in Talo, and she's trapped.
They gotta find it.
I could see that. I think it's one of those things where you watch enough movies to where you get, there's certain passes that you're like, okay, I'll give that a pass. I think in my mind it's an automatic pass because of some of the other stuff I've seen. I'm trying to remember some things that were very just like, ooh, that does not get a pass. Like, because it's just so, like, okay, for instance, I did this one with another buddy of mine. I don't know if I'm going to air it, though. Thor, Love, and Thunder. I did that one. One of the things I didn't like about that seemed extremely hand-wavy was his whole motivation to kill the gods was very just like... It was just like, okay, so he meets this god. He's an obvious douche. And the sword is just whispering, oh, kill the gods. Kill them all. And that's where I was just like, oh, that just seems a little weak as far as motivation goes. You know what I mean? Like, you get into like, and my buddy Clint doesn't like this, but like you get into the comic stuff and it's like, that's one of the greatest Thor stories there was with Gore the God Butcher because it was deep, like emotional, and what's the word? Like it was just a real mental thing that he had to wrestle with. Like it was a clash of ideologies as well as a physical like fight. You know what I mean? Like it was Gore was like, dude, you don't care about the people. It's like, yeah, you go and you do these big things, and you save, the world, blah blah blah. I was like, what about the the guy in the street who like prays to you and cares about you and his life is going to crap and like he's about or this guy who loves you and gives you so much of your power because they believe in you and he steps off the curb and gets hit by a bus. Like, where were you for that guy? And so it's a real like it would give him something to think about. Like, oh shoot, like, do I do enough? Am I doing enough? Like, and so that creates a deeper, and I think for Gore in that situation, it was also kind of like he needed, like, his vendetta against the gods was very like personal, but also there's a moment where his wife, he gets a wife later on, and she kind of refers to him as kind of like a god, and he kills her for it. Like, how dare you? Like, call me a god. Like, I'm not one of those. You know what I mean? But he has come to a strength and power level that obviously rivals God. So it's like, well,
Yeah.
So to me, that's a lot more hand wavy. This, I let it slide, although I do agree with you. It could have been a more well established that, they could have established something that this dweller in darkness has the ability to manipulate minds or something like that. Giving us a little something.
I think I figured out how to explain it better.
Okay, by all means.
They pushed aside the A story for the B story. It's the character growth and development did not come to a conclusion. It was just, hey, we're going to take care. This is obviously like deep-rooted family problems and grief and like actual like human emotions that need to be figured out.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, it was, it doesn't matter. Big dragon demon. You got to take care of it. And they're probably pushing that so that you go and watch the sequel. But that you could argue that you could have an entire arc of a character and the big demon dragon and a sequel without having to rush the endings because you don't know what to do with the characters, or you don't have enough time or money in the budget or whatever. I don't know exactly what happened with this one.
Yeah.
It just it's doing a disservice to these characters that we spent like 2 hours with before. Okay, an hour and a half building up.
Yeah.
Just so that they can.
Yeah, I mean, the Marvel movie, marveled itself at the end. I agree with that.
Yes.
Big CGI battles and stuff like that.
They didn't do that one that well either. It was a little jarring.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that they try to stick with the classical kung fu movie style, where they don't do like the close up shots of all the action, but it's more of a like wide look. Everybody's actually doing this, and they're actually talented.
Yeah.
Like that's always good.
Well, let's talk about that, because I think that's one of the best parts of Shang Chi is the choreography and the fighting styles. Obviously, they took a lot of inspiration and used a lot of people that are connected to like, Jackie Chan style movies and stuff like that. I think a lot of stunt coordinators and people who had worked with Jackie Chan and in China with all the the wire stuff.
Yeah.
Big influences for the choreography. They borrowed a lot of people from there, and so I think it was those are some of the. I mean, even the first scene on the bus.
Oh yeah, that was great.
So so
That
cool.
was cool.
As soon as it reveals that, like he kind of does that punch to the guy and it's slow motion. The guy's like, oh
Yeah.
I was like, dude. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
this is awesome. I dig it. But I felt like most of those like fight scenes like were really good. Like
I agree.
The one with I wouldn't call him a mentor. I guess the guy with the mask that was always beating him up as a kid.
Yeah.
That fight was good. I mean, the fight with his dad.
I don't really think the fight with his dad was that great.
What?
Yeah.
No, guys.
I remember sitting there and seeing that.
He doesn't mean that. That was
do.
really good. No, it was great. I loved it.
It was so okay. Well, the fight was good. I'll say the fight was good.
What didn't you like about it?
The motivation, and how it came to a conclusion. It was a Deus ex machina.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the phrase?
Yes, but
a Deus ex machina is a Latin phrase for God the machine, and it refers to not a change in character, but the will of God coming in to save the character.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So the Deus ex machina was, you don't get the rings anymore, I do, and then that was the end of it.
Well, I would argue they did preface that with his mom. The energy and the power that they get from this other dimension, technically, because it's another dimension connected to our world. They had to go through that little cave tunnel portal. Allows them to interact with whatever these rings are, which we still technically don't know.
Yeah.
And for them to be able to influence and use it for themselves. But what I really liked was the fact that I loved that he got half of them during the fight, and they had that scene where they were pulling against each other, and it showed the real, the change of color of the rings as well, just showing like the softness of Shang-Chi's new style that he had learned from his aunt, Michelle Yeoh, and just the contrast between his dad, who has a very close fist, hard strength type of fighting style. Him running up the rings and using them as like a foothold. I mean, that just creates crazy possibilities, I think, for even future fight scenes in the sequel.
Yeah.
That what they can do, like running up the rings, getting high ground real quick, which we all know is important from
Star Wars.
Yeah, from Star Wars. I mean, Anakin knows
Episode 3.
firsthand. Yeah, he knows firsthand.
Yeah. It's over.
Of the high ground. Yeah, you don't have it. I mean, you might as well just have your arms and legs chopped off and be burnt to a crisp on lava flow. But
absolutely.
So that I think creates some pretty cool stuff. I thought it was good. If full-time movie fans, thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you had a good time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. We want to hang out and discuss the movie with you. So don't forget to do that below. Have a good one. I hope your day is everything you dreamed it to be and more.